am Saja Brito and welcome to today's news review. Educators and students around the world are feeling the extraordinary ripple effect of the novel coronavirus as schools shut down amid the public health emergency. While health officials scramble to get a grip on multiple outbreaks, the University of the Gambia has responded by introducing online classes for its students. I'll be joined later on the show today by Professor Per Gomez, the Dean of a School of Arts and Sciences, to talk about the impact of the pandemic on the global education system. Also on environment, today is World Earth Day, and I'll be joined by environmentalist and microbiologist Ahmed Manjang to talk about the environmental challenges along the coast of the Gambia. But first, let's start with the newspapers. We have a Standard newspaper today, and the Point, and the Standard is reporting Mamanjik Njai is NPP Administrative Secretary. Opposition must unite against Barrow, says GDC's Omar Sise. And a man arrested with drugs in Mankamang Kunda. And of course, SFL responds by saying, I will not engage in meaningless squabbles. But of course, the biggest story on the Standard newspaper today says, daughter accuses father of raping and impregnating her. Let's take a look at some of these stories in detail. A daughter accuses father of raping and impregnating her. A girl, 15, has accused her father of raping her several times, leading to her pregnancy. The girl, who walked into the offices of the Standard newspaper yesterday along with her mother, is already 9 months pregnant. She was quoted as saying, I was living with my father together with my 3 siblings. He would always come to my room, force himself on me, and threaten that if I ever tell anyone, he would kill me, dismember me, and put me in a bag and bury me. It would always happen at night when everyone else is sleeping. He would come into my room and ask one of my siblings, whom I shared the bed with, to go into the other room. Once we are alone, he would force himself on me, she told the Standard newspaper. The girl said at one point, the girl said at no point was the encounter ever consensual, accusing him of being responsible for the pregnancy. And Mamanjik Njai is NPP Administrative Secretary. The former spokesman of the opposition Gambia Democratic Congress, Mamanjik Njai, has been appointed Administrative Secretary of President Barrow's National People's Party. The news was confirmed to the Standard newspaper by Njai himself. However, he denied rumors that Undanyang has been dismissed as the NPP KMC chairman. Opposition must unite against Barrow, says GDC's Omar Sise. The National Assembly member for Nyamina East, Omar Sise, said the country's opposition parties must put their differences aside and unite against President Barrow in 2021, just like they did against Jammeh. Dusano, a key surrogate of President Barrow, recently chastised GDC leader Mama Kande for politicizing the works he is carrying out in communities in the country and for harboring a personal grudge against President Barrow. Reacting to the criticism of his leader, Sise countered, when the coalition ended former President Yahya Jammeh's rule, Barrow was hailed as a hero, but the hope inspired by him has long faded. Man arrested with drugs in Mankamang Kunda. Abdullah Balde, a 30-year-old man in Mankamang Kunda, was yesterday arrested with 2 bundles of cannabis. Drug Law Enforcement Agency PRO Usman Saidiba confirmed to the Standard newspaper. He said Balde, a farmer, was arrested yesterday morning at Mankamang Kunda by narcotic officers. Meanwhile, one Samba Koli and his wife are also in custody on suspicion of engaging in drug trafficking. SFL responds, I will not engage in meaningless squabbles. The lead counsel of the Truth Commission, SFL, has said even though he was shocked and disappointed with some statements about his involvement in COVID-19 relief campaign, he will not engage in silly political squabbles with people who may not know what to do as a result of reduced activity brought about by the coronavirus pandemic. That's it for the Standard newspaper. Let's take a look at what the Point has. Basse panics as 43 people smuggled into the Gambia, and the GDC condemns inhuman treatment of Africans in China. Let's take a look at some of these stories. Basse panics as 43 people smuggled into the Gambia. At least 43 people, including Gambians and non-Gambians, were reportedly smuggled into the country through the porous routes of the Upper River region, causing panic in the country's farthest region, particularly the cosmopolitan town of Basse, the Point newspaper can confirm. There were 13 Gambians, 5 Sierra Leoneans, 11 Malians, 11 Guineans, 1 Nigerian, and 2 Senegalese. The 43 people are currently under quarantine at different hotels in Basse amid the coronavirus pandemic. That's all from the standard newspapers. Most of the stories are pretty much similar. Let's have a break and then we'll be right back.
TAF Africa Global is proud to launch the Moria Gardens, conveniently located in Brufut, 5 minutes off the Brufut Highway. Moria Gardens is set to comprise of 20 fenced and gated service plots with sizes ranging from 264 to 420 meters square. Unique features include water and electricity infrastructure, solar street lights, all-weather roads and scenic gardens. We offer a 10-year mortgage plan with a 25% equity down payment in partnership with GT Bank, Trust Bank and EcoBank. For more information, please contact 376-2333 or 776-2333 or visit our offices at Madiba Mall at TAF Brufut Gardens, opposite 5-Star Hotel.
Welcome back, viewers, and now I am joined by Professor Pierre Gomez from the University of the Gambia, who will, of course, be speaking to me on the impact of the novel coronavirus on education, particularly in the Gambia. Welcome to the Fatu Network News Review, Mr. Gomez.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much. So it is no doubt that the coronavirus pandemic has affected educational systems worldwide. How has it affected the University of the Gambia in particular?
Well, the University of the Gambia, like all other universities in the world now, is seriously affected by this pandemic because we were forced to close down, and for the first time now, in a normal semester, both lecturers and students could not go to class. So, based on that, we are asked to stay at home. Mm-hmm. And if we do not come up with an alternative solution, it means that we'll have a blank year, and it means that our students are likely, those who are supposed to graduate, for instance, this summer, are going to spend a whole 1 year again, and this is something that they did not budget for, and including the institution and those sponsoring them and so on and so forth. So it's going to have serious impact on them, their career, and financially also, among other issues. So something needs to be done.
And now you came up with an alternative, the university, and of course with the support from the Ministry of Higher Education and the Ministry of Finance. How is this supposed to work, the alternative?
Well, we look at it and thought that as a university there must be an alternative, there must be a plan B, because a university without plan B is not a university. Yes, there are bound to be problems, but solutions are there, and people are paid to be thinking outside the box, and that's what we're trying to do, good or bad, but at least we need to attempt finding solutions. So We've looked at different systems that work in other places, other models that are used, and so on and so forth. But then what we've done is to task our IT department. You know, these are young ones, they are Gambians, and so on, to look at what they can do. That we here are we cannot go for external consultants. We cannot go for any other issue. We don't have money, and so what can we do? We have a problem, but we must find a solution. So they came up with different options, and which we looked at management level, and thought that maybe one of the solutions that they proposed will work out. Some are good, but they are very expensive, and based on this situation, under this emergency, and we don't have time, we don't have the resources to go into that. So we need to go for this one, which is really okay. That is using the Google G Suite with all the other features: Google Classroom, Google Meet, Google Hangout, Jamboard, and so on. That help us to have live classes for students to really participate, ask questions, for lecturer to explain certain things that are not clear. So, and it has other features that are very, very good. So the Vice Chancellor, Professor Mohammed Fakir Anjum, decided to set up a committee, which I'm heading, task force, to look at these different possibilities and make sure that all our programs, more than 800 courses are taught for the student population of 6,084, and you know, to run these programs. Yeah.
COVID-19 has dramatically reshaped the delivery of lessons around the world. Now the University of the Gambia is adapting to the online delivery. How effective and efficient do you think this will be?
Well, I think it's a very good move as an alternative, because the Google G Suite gives us different features. You see, they now have the opportunity, for instance, whilst you are having the lectures online, to record it, you know. So immediately after the lecture, Google will send you the video, and which you can share with the students, so that those who were absent will have the opportunity to go over this video and know what transpired during their absence. Even those who were present, and maybe the lecturer was very fast in his explanation, they have that option to really go over the video again and really better understand the subject matter. So these are the different possibilities. We have even another possibility where the discussion, you know, during the lecture, the questions asked by the students, the response given by the lecturer, the different comments made during that session are immediately transcribed by Google. And immediately after the class also, a text will be sent, you know, to transcribe all that took place there. Just the lecturer needs to just edit that part, because Google will transcribe whatever they heard. So the articulation is very, very important, so that Google can capture it clearly. And you know, you can also share that same text again to the students. So you see a text within a text being produced, in addition to the lecture notes that were given, because also that will not stop the lecturers to do their PowerPoint presentations, and students on their screen will be seeing also the projection, the presentations given by the lecturer, and the different explanation, and so on and so forth. So I think this is a very good move. That is that is going to change the dynamics, and I can tell you that many people will no longer teach the same again. People have changed completely. Life have changed, and Corona has its own negative implications that we all know, health-wise and economically, whatever. But also it has put people in a situation where they have to sit up properly and really look at the situation, come up with alternatives. And therefore, we're thinking, we haven't reached there to come up with a proper assessment of the whole issue, but there's this tendency, we just the first week, but there's this belief that we are likely to even run online classes, even when
after the coronavirus.
Yes, even when things come to normalcy and so on. Because I just give you an example. Some of our lecturers, even before the official launch on Monday of the lectures, we started trial testing the system that we are using. And some, when they started it, they were enjoying it and they did not want to stop. So they continued lecturing and all those stuff.
So what monitoring and evaluation standards do we have in place?
No, we have the Department of Quality Assurance and Planning and Quality Assurance, but also the task force has a team based centered on that, and that will be working on this particular issue, really monitoring, because we are also present in the different lectures and using our IT system and so on. And it's very, very clear. And this time around, towards this end of the semester, we were going to launch the proper student evaluation of the lecturers. And then now, before a student can have access to his grades, he must fill that form, evaluation form. You evaluate that lecturer for that particular post. And we no longer want to do it manually, but online, so that our quality assurance team from their office will click the button and get the report and know what were the successes and weaknesses of this particular lecturer, and so that it's not going to be a witch hunt. It's just to see where we can help, where there's need to make some adjustment. What are the students saying? And we take that into consideration, because students are stakeholders. Without students, there cannot be universities, and vice versa. So there's need to really listen to them, and that's also part of the mechanism. And there's a document on quality assurance that is already produced, shared with all the lecturers to know what is going on, what needs to be taken into consideration in the whole process. And we want to believe that all of them will adhere to those principles, because we owe it to generations yet unborn, and we need to really do something for the Gambia, and especially when Gambians among themselves decide to come up with a solution for the Gambia. This time, not coming depending on an international consultant or whatever from another part of the world. So yeah, this is possible.
My worry is that, I mean, does every student have access to it, especially when it comes to the equipment? How many of we cannot guarantee that every student attending university has a laptop or a smartphone. So how is that working?
Well, the university is not like other institutions. So most of our people, yes, we have some young ones who are high school graduates and so on, but a good number of them are already, some are working already. So these and what we have noticed is a good number of them are using these, at least smartphones. So in fact, what we've done also is to send a survey and asking the students to respond to that survey by indicating the smartphone that they are using for their internet and so on and so forth. And based on our based on the data that we have, only 28 were not did not give us the response from what we have. So, but then we came up with this mechanism together with the student union. That category, that 28, there will be a possibility of a loan from the university, where those who are really, because we do have also some who are really belong to that category of needy students, and this time, we have to make sure that it is as open as possible with the student union working with our finance department to see how best those people can be assisted. But we give them a loan because it cannot be free. This is taxpayers' money, and people have to work for it, and everything needs to be clearly.
Before I let you go, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education has recently come under fire after allegedly using over millions of dollars to teach students virtually. So where is the finance of this project coming from?
Well, this is different. This is a different project. By the way, the system, as I told you, is different from the MOPSI model. Mm-hmm. You know, the MOPSI, they are using different models, but part of it also is radio and television. We are not using that model. We are using internet, Google G Suite, as I told you, with all these possibilities that are there, and our IT infrastructure is able to support it. And once we tested it, we also did our homework to be able to know how much it will cost. And then we needed to get support here and there. We approached government and the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, MOHAS, intervened to really facilitate things with finance. And that's where they're able to convince the GSM operators to really make sure that the Google G Suite features that we are using, Google Classroom and other stuff, are free, and so that it will not have any financial implication. Therefore, the cost will end up going down. Then now the only thing that will left is the megabytes for the students for their private resite, and that's what we've done. So they agreed to give them 500 meg, but then after discussion with different stakeholders and the students' leadership, we thought that maybe that might not be enough. So university decided to step in to add 1,000 megabytes. So in essence, the students are given 1,500 megabytes. But then
for a period of?
Yeah, every month. Okay. For a period of three months. Mm-hmm. Every month they get 1,500 megabytes. That is for their recite. It's different from the lectures. By the way, there are some technicalities with some GSM providers, and that's why some are not, it's not well synchronized, mm-hmm. so that they can get it for free, but it's just a matter of time. I just want to make that very clear. But I'm just from all these, those two GSM, one is already okay, the others are just doing the configuration for some of them so that the free aspect of it is really free. So that's what we, then now is the lecturers. The lecturers also cannot lecture without having internet. Mm-hmm. So what we've done is the moment you are a lecturer, whether you are a full-time lecturer or a part-time lecturer, the university provides a free internet for you by giving you internet data cards and dongles, okay, so that you don't unlimited throughout this process for 3 months. And obviously for the full-time lecturers, they will stay with that. All put together, to respond to your question, that will cost us for the time being, based on the statistics that we have from the finance department, 5.4 million. That is, if you put government, UTG, all the expenditures for this course, to be able to run more than 800 courses for student population of 684, and then also having lecturers around 300 plus. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Gomez. It was great having you here.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. We'll go for a short break and then we'll be right back. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah.
If you ever think of buying good quality meat at unbeatable price, think Magilak Butchers, your only suitable solution for quality meat for you and your family consumption. Our comprehensive range of meat products include minced meat, beef slices, top side, knuckle, rump steak, silver side, tenderloin, strip loin, and forequarter. We offer consistent value, quality, and service through animals grass-fed and bred, especially for their meat. This makes the meat much more tasty, succulent, tender, and easy to cook. All meats at Magilak Butchers are halal, including for the first time in the Gambia, the new Mongolian whole lamb, available only at Majilak Butchers. Rush now and visit Majilak Butchers on Caraba Avenue, opposite the Petrogas petrol station traffic lights. For inquiries and orders, please call 7688-688. That is 7688-688. Majilak Butchers, the home of quality meat and chicken products at unbeatable prices. If you ever think of buying good quality meat at unbeatable price, think Majilak Butchers, your only suitable solution for quality meat for you and your family consumption. Our comprehensive range of meat products include minced meat, beef slices, top side, knuckle, rump steak, silver side, tenderloin, strip loin, and forequarter. We offer consistent value, quality, and service through animals grass-fed and bred especially for their meat. This makes the meat much more tasty, succulent, tender, and easy to cook. All meats at Majilak Butchers are halal, including for the first time in the Gambia, the new Mongolian whole lamb, available only at Majilak Butchers. Rush now and visit Majilak Butchers on Caraba Avenue, opposite the Petrogas petrol station traffic lights. For inquiries and orders, please call 7688-688. That is 7688-688. Majilak Butchers, the home of quality meat and chicken products at unbeatable prices.
Welcome back, and now we are joined by Dr. Ahmed Manjang, who is an environmentalist, and today he will be speaking to us on the environmental challenges, especially along the coast of the Gambia. Welcome to the News Review, Mr. Manjang. Can you hear us, please? Hello?
Of our neighboring countries like Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Ivory Coast, is just terrifying. To see a Gambian government or a Ministry of Fisheries, for that matter, to give licensing to a foreign company who is not only engaged in non-essential factory productions, but these factories which are extracting vital resources that Gambians are going to need in the coming days, weeks, and months. We are faced with unprecedented food security challenges in the coming months. That is on top of the COVID-19. COVID-19 is real, and there is nothing special about Gambia that is going to prevent us from us. So the best chance we have now is preventive measures. And that preventive measures will include like closing these fish meal factories. Because these people, they are getting most of their fish from Senegalese Fisher Fox, Guinea-Bissau, where these numbers are on the increase. Like yesterday, around past 24 hours, Senegal have 30 new cases. So far, there are 442. And these cases are concentrated along their fishing cities and towns. And these are the kind of people coming to Gambia. In fact, there was an incident a week or so ago when Senegalese Fisher folk turned up in Gunjur. The immigration officers were there. They wanted to quarantine them. They resist, but they cannot force arrest them because our immigration service, they don't have the personal protective equipment to protect themselves. So they don't want to take the risk. So this is happening on a daily basis. People are flooding in from Senegal through Gambia, because of irresponsibility of two men. That is the Minister of Fisheries and his permanent secretary, Dr. Bamba Banja. We contacted the Minister of Health. Sorry, I need to contact the Minister of Health, what is happening in Gunjur, and on the 9th, he sent the military officers there to close. But next we know again, the Chinese went to see the fisheries minister on the 16th, that they want to open. I don't know what was discussed, but the minister sent them to the director because on that particular day, the permanent secretary was briefed and he was in the provinces. The director of fisheries, Farmer Adabo, told them, look, we've already written you one letter which was overruled by the Ministry of Health. So we can write another letter to let you go and operate. But while the Chinese were there, they called the minister, James Gomez. James Gomez called back to tell the director to write these people a license to go and operate. This is the situation. So we have our own law. This is national emergency laws, formulated by our parliamentarians. But we have a state minister who is flaunting that laws just to make sure his paymasters, the Chinese hustlers, can go and operate and endangering the life of Gambians for that matter.
Mr. Manjang, I want us to dial it back a little bit. First of all, today is a World Earth Day, the 50th annual celebration, let's say, or the call for environmental reforms. What does this day mean to you as an environmentalist?
Yeah, I will use this to advertise my program. In 10 minutes' time, I have panelist Dr. Malanding Jete is coming to my platform. This is the advisor for the Ministry of Health. Well, this particular day was founded by Dennis Hayes of US. This day, 50 years ago, that is 22nd of April, 1970, about 20 million Americans come out to the street. This was about 1 in 10 Americans. They come out to the street to protest about the smokes, the pollutions, and also other environmental issues. So this is where this movement was born. In fact, it's right now the biggest social activist movement. So because of this particular the importance of this, the recent most important thing to take place on this day was the Paris Agreement was signed on this day in 2016. And also, if you go to the American laws, which is plagiarized by many states, that is the Wildlife Act, the Oil Spill Act, lot of acts was all motivated or encouraged by this particular movement. So that's why today we are coming, even though we're having a pandemic physically, we cannot come together, but we are flooding the social media platforms to enlighten and to remind our government, our policy makers of that we cannot rest on our laurels. In fact, as we speak, there is no more urgent challenge than this pandemic. We have this pandemic because of our environmental issue, because the interface between us humans and the wildlife, it's been broken. If you look at this pandemic, it was originated from a bat. So if we left bats in their own natural habitats, there might not be any pandemic like this. And as we become indifferent to these realities of life, there is a chances of pandemic appearing in every few weeks. So that's today one of the most important things, if you can take it from this. We have a stark reminder, if we are careless about our environment, these are some of the situations we're going to face. That is this COVID-19 we are having right now.
You are from a place that is faced with so many environmental challenges. I don't know how many times that people are going to sit on TV or on radios to talk about how some of these factories are destroying our environment, or to talk about the exploitation of the natural resources in the Gambia. But how would you describe the Ministry of Environment and, of course, the National Environment Agency? How would you describe their efforts in addressing the environmental challenges in the Gambia?
No, they are not making any effort. In fact, these people, the Minister of Environment, actually I invited him to my program, but you not even respond. This was a former classmate. These people are using this to make more money because the Chinese, I'm not going to mince my word here. They have no ethics when it comes to business, and that's why we have this pandemic anyway in the first place. These people are ready to go under the table just to make sure that they get what they want. The environment minister is actually doing nothing. In fact, he's helping the Chinese to continue to exploit our natural resources, pollute our environment. And while he's working, all he's interested in is his personal interest. Because this is the same guy who went to the national TV telling Gambians that they have tested the waste these Chinese are pumping into our ozone is safe. when in fact it was not true. Because the research facility he quoted in Paris, that in Senegal, that's the Pasteur Institute, that did their test. They don't have the capability to test that. While ourselves in Gunjur Environmental Group, we did 2 different tests. These are world accredited biochemical labs in Germany, 2 different labs, and they all come out very, very similar. This waste they are pumping into our ozone is loaded with carcinogens like arsenic, up to 5 milligrams per liter. So they are endangering the life of people on a daily basis. And also, you go to Gunjur right now, as I speak, you see tons of seaweed. We have tons of this seaweed, is slimy, is smelly, so that in effect is destroying the tourism industry because nobody wants to go and swim in that sea right now. So why we have these tons of seaweed is the fact that the waste they are pumping into our ozone is loaded with nutrients like nitrogen and phosphates. These are the major component of fertilizer. That's the NPK fertilizer. But potassium is only present to stabilize the fertilizer, but the main component of fertilizer is nitrogen and phosphates. These are proteinaceous material which is present in high numbers in fish meal waste, and that's what they are dumping in our oceans on a daily basis.
Mr. Manjang,
yes, go ahead.
In the fight for a decent environment, the presence of the Chinese fish meal factories, of course, they cannot be ignored. I'm sorry, we have to call this what it is. I mean, how threatening do you think is the presence of those factories along the shores of the Gambia?
It's not only destroying the local businesses, like the tourism sector. The Combo coastal villages are reserved by Ajami with all his faults for ecotourism. And there are a lot of business, lot of them who invested very, very heavily on ecotourism. That is tourism which will protect our environment. It will protect the wildlife. They put a lot of money. It's beautiful. So this thing comes right in the middle of them. Most of them, their businesses are collapsing. But on top of all that, what this pandemic is going to do on our food security is seriously under threat. Right now, 260 million people are facing famine because of COVID-19, and that includes Gambia. Thanks to generous Gambians, they are going around distributing food items to Gambians, but what they are distributing, there is no protein in it. So these small pelagic fish is what every Gambian can afford, and we're going to need this in abundance in the coming days and weeks to keep us alive. Because if we are malnourished, we have protein deficiency, that makes us more vulnerable to this particular virus we are facing now and other diseases. So if Gambia cannot protect this now, we are endangering the food security of an entire nation and maybe the sub-region. So it's not smart to let these people continue to operate right now.
Mr. Manjang, why do you think, or what do you think is making this fight even harder? I mean, first of all, let's talk about China-Africa Corporation in the first place. You people are fighting that we want a decent environment, but sometimes you realize that even the communities are divided. I remember one time being in Kartong and someone said to me, there is a fish meal factory that is being built here. You can have a good story. And someone came to me and said, Kanajema, don't touch that because it's a sensitive issue. One part of the village is receiving rice from these people, and then the other part of the village is saying that, no, you are destroying our environment. Some people say this is a win-win situation. So is this a win-win situation, or is this a new development of colonialism? I mean, China-Africa Corporation.
Yeah, sorry. I have to make this one quick because my panelists are already there. There is no win-win situation. This is one of the probably the most unfair business agreement you see anywhere in the world. 100% of what these people are producing is all going out. And this fish meal, they're going to feed it to pigs. And Gambia, we are food insufficient. We need this protein. If it is for any other team, but for small pelagics, Gambia cannot afford to give that to anybody. We should protect that at all costs. This is what 60 or 70% of the population can afford. So how can that be fair? As I said, the Chinese, they don't have any business ethics. What they do, they will come to the village, they identify the influential elders and youths, and start giving them handouts. Like we are approaching Ramadan. Tomorrow, if you look at the social media platform, you'll see their sugar they are distributing to these influential people in the community. When the Tobaski also came, that's what they will do with rams and start distributing them. So these are the people, considered people like me as troublemakers. We are just trying to destroy their opportunities. You know, nothing is far from the truth, but this is what makes this fight more difficult. But the other positive thing is making the youths to be aware of their responsibilities on daily basis. So it's not going to take long before you see a massive movement that is going to drive them away and their collaborators.
Mr. Manyang, I know it's already 6 p.m., but I just have one last question for you. Do you think Africans see themselves as victims of a Chinese economic exploitation? I mean, even the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, has said that cooperation between China and African countries is entirely based on mutual respect and that it benefits both partners. But on the other side, the Western countries like France, the UK, and the United States are saying that this new romance is a cause for concern, saying that China is in fact a resource-hungry giant and an exploiter of corrupt and incompetent African governments. What do you think?
No, it's self-inflicted. I wouldn't call unfair. At least we have 50 to 60 years of experience of exploitation. That is colonialism. If you put slave trade there, that's over 500 years of experience. We should know better now. You know, we need leaders. Partly is us to blame. We should stop selecting our leaders based on only emotions. We have to start choosing our leaders based on collective intelligence. We need people who can, you know, go and make a better deal for us. But if we keep electing buffons, this is what is going to happen. But we have enough time to learn our lessons. We cannot let this continue anymore.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manyang. It was good having you here.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's it for News Review, guys. Do join us tomorrow if you can. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.